There we go. Backwards. All right.
Ready?
Oh, yeah. Let's crush it.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 24th podcast within the Fight Bros podcast. We're here on February 16th, 2020. As always, I'm Marcus Burks, and this is Albert Walters.
Hey, guys. Happy to be here, as always.
Coming live from Albert's crib today.
Oh, yeah. If you could tell, we're not in the same background.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're at the new crib, chilling, cruising, hanging out. And so we kind of had, it seems like every time we talk, we're always saying something controversial happening in the UFC.
Yeah.
So last night was Fight Night 167. Do you want to start from the top and go down, or
Yeah, we'll start at the main event. Yeah.
Start at the main event. Okay. Well, we had John Blachowicz knocking out Anderson. We didn't guess that.
I didn't expect that. I believe Corey Anderson was the favorite also. So yeah, this was tough. Dude, Corey looked good coming right out. I mean, I just thought he looked phenomenal, like speed-wise. Like he was bobbing and weaving, kind of letting his hands fly a little bit. I was like, dang, for a wrestler, man, he looks like he's got pretty good hands. But dude, Blachowicz is a brute, man. Jan Blachowicz is a brute. You can tell how much power he has by just looking at his body.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a brute. And I believe he caught Corey with a left uppercut. So it was just brutal. And then right after, Blachowicz goes cage side to the side of the cage where John Jones was sitting in. You know, I don't know what he said, but he was kind of like, "Come on, when's it happening? When's it happening, John?" And John stood up and then was like, "Come on, bring it, young man."
Yeah.
So I don't know though. That's the question, and that's what I want to talk about right here. Is we won't talk about that yet. I kind of want to get into Corey Anderson a little bit. But we're going to get into, is that what's next for John Jones? But let's first start out by saying this kind of sucks for Corey Anderson, man. He's been one of those guys that's been beating contenders and stuff for a while.
Yeah.
I remember watching, I just thought he was very motivated. I watched some interviews he did on Friday, dude. And usually when people, like he talked about, you might see the first death in an octagon. And he was just talking like crazy like that, like saying that he was going to kill him in the octagon and stuff. And usually when guys talk like that, like they mean business. And I know this is the fight game, and anybody can get clipped at any time with any shot. I don't know though. Some guys like Diaz, and as we seen with John Jones last fight, like some of these guys, it just seems like you can't put them away for nothing.
Yeah.
But I hate that for Corey. But this is the fight game. It happens, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unfortunate fight game though. So I don't really know what's next for Corey though. I don't really know what's next for Blachowicz either, because do you really think that's what's going to be next for Jones?
So my personal opinion is, I feel like, okay, so Jan Blachowicz is coming off a knockout to Luke Rockhold, who was new to the division. So to me, that doesn't kind of make the resume better for that fight for John Jones. Corey Anderson was number 5. To me, and this is not being like subjective to the fact that I like Corey Anderson, I felt like Anderson had a better resume. He was beating more of those top guys that were getting title shots and stuff.
Yeah.
So essentially, Blachowicz just beat Rockhold. Now he beat Corey Anderson, that was ranked number 5. I essentially think that Jan Blachowicz should fight Thiago Santos, who also almost beat John Jones. I think they should fight for a number 1 contenders fight while Dominic Reyes and John Jones fight in the rematch for the second time. I believe we can make that card, I don't know, September or something. latter part of the summertime, we could make that card. We could put both fights on that card.
Yeah.
Santos, I know he's starting to come back. He's looking promising. I feel like he's kind of wanting to end the summer return, maybe late this year return. So I think that would make more sense. I'm not mad if Blachowicz gets the title shot. He deserves it.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. You just beat Corey Anderson, who was essentially gonna get it,
and you knocked him out.
Yeah. I just don't know how it's gonna sell. I don't know how you're gonna sell Blachowicz versus Jones, but
yeah, it's not like a ooh,
Yeah.
you're not hyped over that. So I agree. Then what do you think is next for Anderson?
I don't know, man. Back to the drawing board. Maybe fight the winner of Anthony Smith Glover Teixeira. That's happening in March. Maybe. I mean, he said that he's not done. I mean, he's just 30 years old, so he's still. He's actually entering that prime of his career, right in the prime, entering the prime of his career.
Yeah.
So he's got time, and so definitely he's not out of the title picture. And then that just sucks. That's what happens when you face those top guys.
Yeah.
Which he's a top guy himself, but. Yeah, so that sucks for him and his camp.
Oh yeah, that's sad. He got rocked.
Oh, and you know what was ironic last night too? So when Blachowicz, and this kind of sucked, me being a DC fan. DC's interviewing Blachowicz in the octagon, and Blachowicz is sitting there like on the microphone pointing at Jones, talking to Jones, and DC having to stare at Jones too. And I just wonder how that made him feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that used to be his enemy. He used to be the one doing those call outs to Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I don't know, man. It just feels like, in a sense, he got robbed.
Yeah.
Like, it just sucks the way that those fights went down between DC and John Jones, that he essentially cheated both times.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not taking any away of the kicks he set up. Yes, he knocked the DC out with a head kick. But essentially, it just sucks knowing that somebody tested positive for steroids in both fights against them.
And you lost both times.
And now you're watching some other guy call out your rival. Like, DC and John Jones is probably the biggest rivalry. I don't have to say argumentative, because I feel like that is the biggest one. The biggest rivalry in UFC history so far. Maybe Conor and Khabib can stir up some stuff if Conor can actually provide a little bit of competition, but
Yeah, that's that gives us some potential. It is an interesting dynamic just to wonder how DC feels about it though.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that was his rival. But I mean, this is potential to be the biggest rivalry of UFC history, in that when you fought him both times, he was on roids.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not going to happen again.
No.
We're just going to get Stipe Miocic in DC. Hopefully, we need that by summer. Dana, you got to make that happen.
Ooh, sorry. But see, I think that's more of I think that's gonna happen in October. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's gonna be like an end of a year fight.
Yeah, I think it needs to happen sooner or later for DC. He needs to just where he's already. Usually they say when a fighter. A lot of fighters don't like when fighters say oh, this is going to be my retirement fight and I'm not fighting none after that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say once you already say you're going to retire, it's over.
Yeah.
You're just not as motivated, but I don't know.
Yeah, they normally lose those fights too. Yeah. Well, we moving down the ladder, we had Diego Sanchez and Michael Pereira.
Two disqualifications.
Yeah, back to back, and so, or was it back to back?
Yeah, it was back to back.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it wasn't. There was a
fight in the middle.
A fight in the middle, yeah.
So I'm really glad Michael Pereira lost. I'm not a fan of him.
I was a fan, but none of that stuff works. All those acrobatics and all that backflips and stuff, it's just not working for him. I like that fighting style because you can't predict what his next move is, but I don't know if I feel like feel like if it was going to work, it should have worked against Diego Sanchez. I
mean, it's not accurate.
Yeah, he kind of had those shots that he wanted on Diego Sanchez. He could pick and choose, but it just wasn't stunning him or nothing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a lot of people are mad at Diego Sanchez because Michael Piera was beating him up to this point on the cards. The DQ came from an illegal knee to a downed opponent of Diego Sanchez. Now, this didn't knock Diego Sanchez out or anything. It cut Diego Sanchez's eye up pretty bad, and essentially they gave him Diego Sanchez like 5 minutes. And this is kind of the controversial part. Diego's like, let me talk to my coach. Let me talk to my coach during like that 5-minute rest. And the ref was like, no. Because see, what I think he was doing is, and I think a lot of other people was, he was wanting to talk to his coach to be like, okay, I'm already down on the scorecards. Or he was going to say, am I losing, coach? Like, be honest. And then he was going to say, well, I'd accept this disqualification. I'm just going to go ahead and take the win.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that is an illegal move. It's in the rules that you lose the fight if you do that. I mean, they give your opponent the choice, but you lose at the end of the day. So I'm not mad at him for taking that. He said he couldn't see. And like I've stated on here before, like, me and you aren't UFC fighters. We haven't did that kind of stuff, so I'm never going to test anybody's manhood about it. So, but it's in the rules, and at the end of the day, he
broke the rules.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, man. It's like it's like, oh, you were losing the whole time, blah 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 blah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like really, who cares? He broke the rules. There's nothing else about it. Sure, it's frustrating for Michael Piera to be winning the whole time, then lose over one knee kick, but you've got to be careful about that. Like, most other fighters can control that kind of stuff, and if he can't, then he's going to be disqualified again.
Yeah, I think essentially what fans were expecting is, I don't know if you remember, but in that John Jones-Anthony Smith fight, John Jones hit Anthony Smith with an illegal shot. Anthony Smith could have chose to accept that DQ and have the win over John Jones. He did not, though. Yeah. And we see a lot of UFC fighters in that situation. They're kind of like, oh, we're warriors. We're not going to accept it.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it's an illegal move in the rule books, and that illegal shot can take some damage.
Oh, yeah.
And essentially mess you up the rest of the fight. So.
Well, that's why it is illegal, because it's a really, vulnerable shot.
Yeah.
So then the same thing happened to Brock Weaver right after. He won, but he was also knocked out from a knee kick.
Yeah, see, Brock Weaver's case was essentially, it was the same illegal shot. But Brock Weaver did not get the choice to continue because he got knocked unconscious. Yeah. So in the rule book, if a fighter gets knocked unconscious from an illegal move, the ref automatically waves it off. It's an illegal disqualification. Brock Weaver's a warrior, though, man. Like, he did not want his hand raised. He did not want to even stand there and accept the victory. He was pretty upset about it. And then afterwards, he even said, like, illegal shot or not, I lost in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but he told Rodrigo Vargas that he wants to do the rematch. And I think that'd be
an awesome rematch.
Yeah. And I know Weaver was tough, man. It was going to go either way before that move. Rodrigo Vargas was pretty good too, so it was going to go either way. Yeah. Well,
we did predict Brock was going to win, but
we
didn't think it was going to be that way. Then we had John Dotson TKO'd Nathaniel Wood. So what happened with that?
I mean, this was just a late TKO in the third round. John Dotson pulled it out. They called him the magician for a reason, man. He pulled it out right at the end. John Dotson is a really big piece in this bantamweight division. He has wins over Demetrius Johnson. He's finished TJ Dillashaw. I think he may be 33 or something. not positive on the age or whatever, but he's still in that prime of his career.
Yeah.
And I actually watched him when I went to Norfolk to watch UFC Norfolk in 2016, I believe. John Dotson versus Marlon Moraes was on that main card. And I remember just sitting there, and I know a lot of people probably agree with me on this. He got robbed. And Marlon Moraes is the number one contender in that bantamweight. He just beat Jose Aldo. Aldo might get the title shot now, but he beat Jose Aldo. He's still number one contender. But John Dotson arguably beat Marlon Moraes.
Yeah.
Man, and so, I mean, he's right there. And I know after the fight, he talked about how he loves that UFC keeps feeding him these up-and-comers because he feels like he said the UFC wants me to get a title shot because they keep feeding me people who they think are going to be the future and get the title shot. But his resume, dude, he's just
insane.
Yeah, his resume is insane. So I just think it was crazy that this fight was on the prelims. It was on the prelims, and he's still a big name. I feel like for the hardcores, the UFC hardcores.
Yeah, the long timers who know the history of it. That's crazy. So what do you think is the next for John Dotson?
I don't know, man. I'd like to see him against a contender. Top 10. Contender? Yeah, top 10. I don't think he's currently ranked, but let's get him a top 10 opponent.
I think that's fair, man. After these wins he's getting, I think that's totally fair. Because that was a good TKO. It was almost a KO, man.
Mm-hmm.
He knocked him on the ground, and you thought that was it for a second, but then he just finished him.
He's so athletic, dude. I don't think I showed you the video, but as soon as he did it, dude, he went and ran up against the cage. He ran up the cage and did a flip off of it. And I mean, I was like, wow. Like, you just did pretty much 15 minutes of fighting, and then you still had the energy to do that. Like,
it's insane.
He's for real a magician, as his nickname says.
That's awesome. Gosh, that's exciting, man.
Yeah.
I hope big things come for him, even though he's a little older.
Yeah.
So, of course, we got Conor McGregor in the news, as always. So, this is stupid.
Yeah, but
this is just dumb.
I seen articles reporting about it, and I seen it last night on Twitter after the fight, and I was like, and I actually seen tweets of like MMA media saying, if I wake up the next morning and there's articles trying to get viewers for this, for what Conor said, he was like, y'all are ridiculous. Yeah. So I guess we're one of those ridiculous people that's talking about it. But Conor McGregor called out Diego Sanchez. He wants to fight Diego Sanchez, supposedly. Now, I don't know if he was sober during this tweet. I don't know. It makes no sense.
It's
Diego
silly.
Sanchez is not even top 25 welterweight.
Yeah, no, it's a silly fight.
You just beat a top welterweight in Cowboy, a top welterweight and a top lightweight in Cowboy.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand.
No, I don't get this at all.
Diego Sanchez is a veteran as Cowboy. A fight between those two would go the same exact way.
Yeah.
I think Diego Sanchez would last a little bit longer than Cowboy, just because, I don't know, just because of his fighting style, and he's kind of like Diaz. Some of them guys, like, he doesn't want to go out regardless of the punishment he's taking. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's silly.
Yeah, and why would you call a guy out after he just won by DQ?
Yeah, and he was losing the whole time.
I don't know. Maybe he could have been mocking him because he took the DQ.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I could see that. Conor likes to run his mouth, so I could see that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so moving on, we got Darren Till and Jared Cannonier. That's not going to happen. So why is that not going to happen?
See, it sucks, man, because that was supposed to be on that humongous stacked March 7th card.
Romero and Adesanya.
Yeah. So that was supposed to be one of those additions to that main card that was going to make it great. I forgot who Jared Cannonier was supposed to face, but he was supposed to face somebody and they dropped off. So then he was going to face Darren Till. And Cannonier is one of those guys that he just needs one more win to make his case for a title shot. Oh, he was supposed to face Robert Whittaker on this card.
Okay.
And then Robert Whittaker I don't really know what happened with him. There's been a lot of rumors. Saying, and you know what Dana talked about how, Robert dropped off this card, but he was like, he's the most selfless person. Obviously, I can't talk about what it was, but there was a lot of rumors. I don't know if this is true, saying he made some type of vital organ donation to his 4-year-old daughter. So I don't know. Either way, if he really did that, which I think that could be why they don't discuss that.
Yeah.
That is a very selfless act. And if he did that, he's a warrior.
Oh, he's a winner
outside of the octagon.
Absolutely.
But so Darren Till was essentially going to take his place. Darren Till's and this is 185. I think I said welterweight. This is 185.
Okay.
Yeah, 185-pound middleweight division. So this fight was supposed to happen. It was getting materialized. And then Jarrett Cannonier gets hurt. That sucks. Yeah, so now it's not happening. So still a pretty good card.
So do you think someone's going to be able to step in and fight Darren Till? I know we got 3 weeks. Yeah, we got about 3 weeks till this fight. Somebody could. I mean, we've seen it before. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen frequently, but we could see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but I doubt it. They'll probably just drop it. Let me look up the card and see what we still got, though.
Well, while you do that, we definitely know we got the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero. But, dude, that would have been really exciting to have Whitaker be the co-main to that.
Yeah, it kind of did a little bit of damage to the card. Ooh. So, I mean, the first 2 fights are perfect. Adesanya, Yoel Romero. Then we have young Jacek versus Zhang.
That's always good.
Then we kind of fall off. We got Derek Bronson versus some guy I've never heard of. We got Neil Magny versus this up-and-comer guy. He was one of the first Chinese fighters that signed with the UFC. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Forgive me on that.
Li Jingling?
Yeah, but he's pretty good, and he's got some knockout power. I've seen him fight before on some of those fight nights. And then we also have the return of Sugar Sean O'Malley.
That's exciting.
A lot of people like O'Malley. So, I mean, yeah, we got some good fights on there, good names. Prelims, we got Cowboy Oliveira opening up the prelims. Can't believe that, but so I mean, decent card. I would buy this card.
Yeah,
but we needed that fight to make it just over the top.
Yeah, we needed that fight, but also Jared needed that to to try to get that title shot or at least face a contender. Mm. So hopefully maybe somebody will step in. We got 3 weeks, but we've seen it before.
Yeah.
So this is some more controversial news coming up. The UFC has paid its fighters only 16% of its revenue in 2019. What are your total thoughts on that?
I think that's ridiculous, man. I don't think they get paid enough at all. One of the guys kind of broke it down. I just can't believe, man. They're a billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many billions they was. But you're telling me you're paying people to go out there and fight for $5,000? Some of these low guys, you're telling me they had to pay a fight camp, they had to pay for their meal prep, and when they're at that, and this would be the guys fighting on the Contender Series, they're fighting on Tough, they're fighting on the early prelims. You know what I'm saying? These guys that they're making like $5,000 to show, $5,000 to get a win.
Yeah,
and then. If you fight, dude, let's say you did that and you fought 3 times a year, that's $30,000.
If you win.
And, dude, and all that's not going to you. You got to pay your trainers, you got to pay your meal prep companies,
Oh, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And so that's just sad. Now, I know they can't pay him 100%. I know they probably can't even pay him 50% because you got to pay for these arenas. You got to pay for advertisement. Yeah. But you've also got to pay for all the people in the background that make it happen that most people don't take into account for. So most people see the UFC as Dana White, Joe Rogan and all the fighters, but they don't realize like all the people in the middle that actually are making it happen. And so you got to pay those people as well. But
I'm thinking 30.
I was gonna say I think 25 to 30% of its revenue is fair, because without the fighters, no one else is there.
Yeah,
like no one else is there if these fighters aren't there. So Dana White ain't got a job. Rogan's got the podcast, but Rogan ain't got anything from the UFC. And all of the thousands of people between that's not a fighter and not the and not Dana White, everybody in between those thousands of people, they don't have a job without the fighters.
Yeah, see, have you ever watched that movie Here Comes the Boom?
Yeah, of course.
So on that movie, and they have all these UFC people in it, they state in that movie that Kevin James, when he made it to the UFC, that at the bottom, so the bottom UFC fighters, if you get 10,000 to lose, because remember that was his goal in the movie. He was like, I just want to
he wanted 50,000.
He said he wanted to lose. So that was his original goal. Yeah,
that last fight.
His original goal was just to make it to the UFC and lose and get $10,000 for that music program.
Yeah.
But then, whatever happened in the movie, the embezzlement and stuff, he ended up finding out if he won, he got 50,000.
But no. Remember, 50 was the total amount he needed. And so they were up to like 40,000.
Oh, okay.
And so if he was going to lose, he met that goal.
Yeah.
But then he got a call from that girl and was like, "Hey, that dude stole all the money." And so now they need 50,000 to keep that up.
Yeah.
And so then Kevin James won. It was like, boom, here comes the boom. That's a good move. But
UFC fighters don't make that much. And Rogan and all of them was in that movie. And I'm like, why did they portray it like that? They portrayed it like the bottom of the bottom UFC fighter gets that much if they win or if they lose.
Well, they also showed like what it's like working up the ladder, like fighting around like chickens, blah, blah, blah.
I love that movie. If you haven't watched that movie and you're an Adam Sandler fan, Kevin James or what's the guy that plays Joe Dirt? I always forget his name. Dave Spade.
Rob Schneider.
If you love any of those guys and you love UFC, you have to watch Here Comes the Boom.
It's a great movie.
It's probably one of the best fighting movies I've ever saw.
It really is. Like, and it's got a good story to it. Like, it's a good movie all around. So no, I think they need to bump that up from 16 to 30%, and I think everybody should get a little more.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Because if you're going to make this a career, you've got to have enough to live off of. But that's also if you're good. Like, if you ain't no good, then they should be paying you a lot.
Yeah, so even the bottom NBA players,
they still.
I'm trying to think of like the minimum contract they can get. It's like $500,000, $250,000 for the season, and I'm like, well, dang, they're pretty set.
Yeah, they doing good.
Yeah.
So then we got Cowboy Cerrone. He challenged an internet troll. Internet troll was talking crap, and Cowboy Cerrone puts his address out there and says, "Come to my door if you think and I'll show you I didn't purposely lose that fight against McGregor."
Yeah, let me try to pull up what exactly he tweeted. Cause,
he even put his address out there, like for everybody to see.
And everybody was like, "Oh, he put the address to his ranch that he owns," and I was like, "Yeah, but if you know Cowboy, he lives right beside the ranch. The ranch is on his property.
Yeah,
so he literally just gave the whole world his address to come up there and show up."
If you want to be all technical about it, it is kind of public information, like who owns what property. So it's not like terribly difficult trying to find who owns what. But still, like, you don't want to just put your address out there.
But essentially, this internet troll pretty much was giving him crap, like a lot of people have, about the loss to Conor McGregor, and pretty much saying like he took a dive, that it was way too easy for Conor and stuff. And Cowboy got ticked off. And he was like, "Oh, you think it's so easy? You think I'm not a good fighter? Once you come up to my doorstep and see how bad of a fighter I am."
Yeah.
Because essentially, at the end of the day, Conor made that look easy, but Conor is a very high-level fighter. Just regular people, like, I guarantee you, Cowboy, anybody outside of that top 10, top 15, Cowboy starches.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He starches. Any regular amateur fighter, any up-and-comer amateur, if you're in any of these promotions, Cowboy will start you.
Oh, absolutely.
So don't get that confused. Conor McGregor is very elite, and there's levels to it. Conor McGregor is not on Khabib's level.
No.
There's levels to the game. Man.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah.
And so that's why he kind of hovers where he's at, around 10 or so.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little less. But he's a staple to it. But, he's a gatekeeper. Yeah. And he's a great fighter. But that's kind of ridiculous. Like, oh, I can't believe he put his address on there. That's insane. So we got John Jones. He said he's going to move to the WWE. It's inevitable. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I kind of get it from like a money standpoint, because when you stop working as a fighter, what do you do for money? DC's a good announcer. He's kind of going to probably do that for a long time.
DC, he said that WWE's talked to him about offer. But DC is in that world of promos. He does all this public speaking all the time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he can be a little charismatic. Plus, in WWE, you want some guys that got a little bit of, bulk on them, a little bit of body fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some big guys like Big Show. Like, DC obviously ain't as tall as the Big Show, but DC could come in there.
Yeah.
He could be Rikishi.
Nah,
I'm just joking. Yeah. I don't want to see DC in no man thong acting like
putting
Rikishi.
His butt on someone's face. Ooh, that was nasty. Oh God, Rikishi.
But John, I mean, I feel like
he's not that good of an actor. I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like they MMA fighters, when they make that transition, it's easy. It's easy on the part of wrestling, but what people don't understand is that it is more to that. It is. You have to be very charismatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
The microphone. And just to use an example, Enzo Amore, a lot of people gave him crap, like ridiculous amounts of crap, because they acted like he wasn't this real good in-ring person that could do all these different type of moves and stuff. It didn't matter. He sold T-shirts. His T-shirt was the number one selling T-shirt for WWE. He was the best person on the mic in that. And some of these guys, they'll be out there in New Japan putting on 5-star matches and stuff. But guess what? People care about that charisma. They care about if you can cut a promo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That essentially Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, what do? How long do their matches last? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's their charisma. Brock Lesnar doesn't have to have charisma. It just brings off. It just glistens off. He has Paul Heyman do it for him. Goldberg, he's one of those guys from the Attitude Era that his intensity everybody loves.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's just a very intimidating guy. So when he gets on the microphone and cuts this intimidating promo, you're next, people love that.
Oh, yeah.
John Mike could have some success. Ronda had success. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But
you got to have a character to you. And, I don't think John has that. He's kind of dead on the mic. Excitingly enough, we got Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder coming up this weekend.
I'm so hyped for this. Hey,
this is better than the upcoming UFC card.
What kind of fights to watch this weekend? Do not watch UFC Fight Night. It's not that good.
Not like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder.
This thing's hype.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to go see. I'm gonna check the price on it. I haven't checked how much it is yet. We might try to do something. Depending on how much it is. But if Buffalo Wild Wings is showing it, I'll have to check on that.
They are, then
I don't know how places do about boxing, but I would assume a lot of places would pick this up.
Yeah.
But around here, man, we was trying to watch the Conor McGregor fight. Conor McGregor is one of the biggest names in UFC. The one bar in the NRV was showing the Conor McGregor fight. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Blacksburg, man. Like Blacksburg, there's 100,000 people who live in Montgomery County, and there was only one bar showing it. Yeah. It's insane.
That's ridiculous. And I believe it was the same in Roanoke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're sitting here okay, Pulaski, Radford, Christiansburg, Blacksburg, Roanoke, 2 bars showing the fight in, 5-6 counties.
Yeah.
Only 2 bars. All these bars that we got around here, and only 2 are showing.
That's ridiculous. Come on, IMAX.
Yeah.
like the IMAX got thousands from us. Really and truly. They got thousands of dollars from us as customers. And it stayed packed because you had couches. You had tables. You were just leaning back watching the fights on these big projector screens.
They can do it because you know what restaurant hosted the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight in Dublin? Cinco de Mayo.
Bullshit.
No, I'm being dead serious. Cinco de
What?
Mayo back there behind Shoney's.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
God,
It
man.
hosted Floyd Mayweather versus McGregor. So man, if they can show it, come on.
Come on, IMAX.
Yeah, we
Like-
got Champs around here.
Yeah.
Champs is supposed to be a sports bar.
Yeah.
We got all of these different
Champs,
places. Yeah.
Tots, Rallies, Bots. We've got
Yeah.
Hokey House. Like
Yeah.
we've got it all, man. So that's silly. Like that's silly.
I don't understand.
So you ain't gonna make no money if you ain't showing these events.
Yeah.
Like so. So this weekend is the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder
so
fight.
what is your
And-
thoughts?
Where I don't watch boxing, I don't really have an opinion. I hope it's gonna be good.
Though. These
Yeah,
guys are
yeah,
just
yeah.
so big that I feel like a lot of people know about them.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
watch boxing to the fullest. I watch highlights and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do keep up with Tyson Fury. I bought his book. I bought his book. I haven't read it yet, but I got his autobiography that he wrote. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of interest in this fight with these two guys.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see these two go at it. But no, I don't really have an opinion on who's gonna win or lose. What about you?
It just depends, man. Like last fight, Tyson Fury outboxed him. He beat him on the scorecards. Deontay Wilder's just got that crazy power. He put Tyson Fury down twice. The thing is, man, Tyson Fury, I don't know if you had to see the video. Tyson Fury, dude, he was out. He was out. He was done. His eyes was closed. He was laid back. About what, 5-6 second count. All of a sudden his eyes come open. He rises up out the casket like the Undertaker. And I don't know, man. Just from that point on, I was just like, oh my goodness, Tyson Fury is awesome.
Tyson Fury is a zombie.
Yeah, which I was keeping up with Tyson Fury before his comeback. The interesting thing about Tyson Fury is he was this WEC heavyweight champion. He beat Klitschko. He was beating all these guys. He was so dominant. But then he kind of got into that champion's lifestyle. His weight got up to 370 pounds, something like that. He was addicted to drugs. He wanted to kill himself. He tried to kill himself. He had failed suicide attempts, different kind of stuff like that. And then he came back. He won. He had like 3 warm-up fights that he won that were professional. Then he ended up signing this humongous deal with ESPN. He came back and fought Deontay Wilder while he was still kind of overweight. And you're talking about Deontay Wilder, the best boxer in the world right now.
Yeah.
He arguably beat him. People thought like he outboxed. Even after he got knocked and got back up, he outboxed Deontay Wilder the rest of the round.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But Deontay Wilder, man, he's just got that power. If I had to give a prediction, though, I'm going to say Tyson Fury. I just feel like he's back. I feel like what he's already been through, everything he's been through, man, I feel like he outboxed Deontay Wilder in that first round. He switched camps. He got a new coach, a new strength and conditioning coach.
Now, that might hurt him, though, since he did so good last time, though.
Yeah, but his strength and conditioning coach was very young and kind of young. Because I remember Tyson Fury talked a lot about it on the podcast. He was like, that guy was from my country or whatever, and I wanted to give him
a chance.
Pretty much to kind of jumpstart. And that's okay. He got his experience. But now he wanted somebody like legit. And it wasn't strength and conditioning. I think it was his boxing and strength and conditioning trainer. So I can't remember the new guy he got, but this guy has got a lot of experience. So, I mean, he's doing a lot of preparation to get ready for this rematch. He's changed trainers. That trainer was supposedly one of his best friends. So,
Well, good. I'm just excited for it as a whole.
Yeah.
So, since you're rooting for Fury, I hope he wins, man. I just don't have an opinion on it. I haven't kept up with it like you have.
He's the Gypsy King, man. That's what I'm talking about. He's did WWE.
Yeah.
He beat Braun Strowman in WWE. He's just one of those guys that are just entertaining, man, at whatever he does.
Yeah. No, I'll agree with that completely. So I'm really excited for the fight.
Oh yeah.
Then in other news, we got the less exciting Fight Night 168 with the UFC. I don't think we're going to see many. I don't think they're going to see many people watching this at all.
No,
considering we got the Fury and Wilder fight.
I'll tune in for the main event. I think the main card starts at 7, so the main event should be on around 9 o'clock, 9:30. I'll tune in for this Paul Felder versus Dan Hooker. That's a really good lightweight matchup. The rest of the card is terrible.
Yeah.
The rest of the card is terrible.
Well, out of Paul Felder and Dan Hooker, who do you want to see win?
I want Paul Felder.
See, I was going to say the same thing.
Not because of skill level or anything. That's just completely opinionated. I just like Felder. I just like him when he does like the microphone and stuff. I feel like he's a good guy. He analyzes fights real well. He's a tough guy too. I remember when he took the Mike Perry fight on really late notice, and he almost beat Mike Perry.
Yeah,
it was a very good fight. So he's a very tough guy. And I was telling you earlier, this is the funny part about. There was really originally no beef going into this fight between these two, but because Dan Hooker had called out Paul Felder, because Paul Felder, where he does the in-ring interviews, in-octagon interviews, he did an interview for Felder after one of his fights, and Felder was like, you know what, I want a contender, and I happen to be standing right across from one. And, they both were very respectful, Paul Felder, he's a complete professional. He wasn't going to break character of his job or anything at the time he was doing. But then the fight never materialized. So then Paul Felder got a win, and he went on Twitter and he posted a picture of like a hooker on the sidewalk, like a legit hooker. And he was like, need some work, Dan, or something. It was bad. And Dan Hooker, man.
He got mad.
He got mad about it. He said that Paul Felder disrespected his family name, and he's never trained as hard as he has for this upcoming fight. So I think this is going to be a war. This is going to be a real good fight for this light weight division, which is kind of lost a little bit of interest just because the Khabib and Tony fight got booked so far out. So we need some sparks in this lightweight division. So I think this is a good way to set it off. I know I'm kind of building up this card. The rest of the card is not good. Just grab the ESPN Plus and tune in on the main event on your phone while you're watching Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it, and I'm more excited for the Tyson Fury and Wilder fight.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Fight Night 168, the Felder and Hooker. It's always fun watching people with beef fight.
Yeah, it is.
Well, is there any last remarks?
Nah, man.
I think we got to go pick up these girls soon.
Yep.
So I haven't heard anything from them.
They ain't texted me or nothing, so.
That's good. Good. Well, then we ain't rushing to go pick them up.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you as always.
Fight Bros number 24. We're going to give you that off-topic podcast coming soon. We just got to figure out a date.
Which weekend would be a good weekend guests, to do it?
We want to get Mary and Hannah on that one because Hannah's biology, and then Mary just... I make her watch all kinds of shows and stuff on the topic.
See what she says about it.
So she got a little bit of knowledge on it. And we wanted to have an excuse to get them on the podcast one time.
Yeah, why not?
So we feel like that would be a good one. We just got to get that worked out. So Fight Bros off topic is coming soon.
Good, you're good. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.